Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. We got a double hitter here on April 2nd, a two-game series between these Boston Red Sox traveling to New York to take on the Yankees. And let's take a look at the visiting Boston Red Sox starting lineup. Leading off, playing third base, Jimmy Collins. Batting second, playing second, Pete Rowlands. Batting third, playing center field, Dom DiMaggio. Batting fourth, playing left field, Ted Williams. Batting fifth, playing right field, Jackie Jensen. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, Vern Stevens. Batting seventh, playing first base, Dick Giernet. Batting eighth, doing the catching, Billy Coniger. And on the mound, doing the pitching and batting ninth is Smokey Joe Wood. We got a hell of a pitching matchup here today, folks, in New York. We got leading off, playing second base for the Yankees, Tony Lazzeri. Batting second, playing shortstop, Phil Rizzuto. Batting third, playing left field, Babe Ruth. Batting fourth, playing right field, Mickey Mantle. Batting fifth, playing first base, Lou Gehrig. Batting sixth, the other DiMaggio in this game, playing center field for the Yankees, Joe DiMaggio. Batting seventh, playing doing the catching is Yogi Berra. Batting eighth, playing third base is Red Ruffin. And on the mound, we got the chairman of the board, batting ninth, Whitey Ford. A pitching matchup, Wood against Ford. Let's get down to Yankee Stadium and get this game started. And you see the team comparisons here. The Red Sox are 5-5. They've scored 46 runs on 17 homers. One stolen base haven't been caught. Yankees are 6-5, 57 runs on 35 homers, two stolen bases, and haven't been caught. Jimmy Collins starts this game off batting .250, two homers, and 5 RBIs on against the chairman of the board. His third start of the year. He's 0-1 with a 6.75 ERA. Here's the pitch to Jimmy. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. The chairman of the board strikes Collins out for out number one. That brings up Pete Rowlands now. And Pete's batting a .150, no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be another swing and a miss. The chairman of the board, back-to-back strikeouts to start this game off. And here comes DiMaggio, Dom that is, batting .156, no homers and 4 RBIs. And that is going to be a ground ball out in front of the plate. And Yogi's going to mess that one up. That's a Baltimore chop that he can't handle. That's going to be an E2. And that's going to get the runner down at first. And this is not who you want up. With a runner on, Ted Williams is hitting the cover off the ball, folks, leading the American League with a .486 batting average. He's got 6 homers and 16 RBIs. And the chairman of the board strikes out the side. Good morning, good night, and good afternoon in between the air by Yogi. And the Red Sox strand one. We go to the bottom of the first. Boston nothing. Yankees sending up Lazzeri, Rizzuto, and Ruth. Tony's batting .297 on the year. He's got 2 homers and 2 RBIs. Smokey Joe Wood's third appearance, his third start. He's 1-0 with a 3 ERA. Here's the pitch to Tony. You don't want these leadoff guys getting aboard with these big bumpers coming up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes out Tony for out number one. So far, every out in this game has been a strikeout. Phil Rizzuto's batting .171, 1 homer and 4 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss also. So 5 men come to the well, 6 men come to the plate. 1 reached on an error, and we got 5 strikeouts. You see the Yankees' upcoming schedule. They got the second game of this doubleheader. Then they're going to go on the road to take on Baltimore for 3. And then they travel up to Chicago. Babe Ruth up now batting 324, 6 homers, and 12 RBI. And that's going to be a base on balls. So the Yankees get the base runner on just like the Red Sox with 2 out. That brings up Mickey Mantle. Can Mick get the ball in play here? So far, he's batting 175, 2 homers, and 6 RBIs. And that's going to be a 2-0 count on him. Can Mick try this 2-0 pitch? And nope, that's going to be a ground ball. Nope, that's going to be a swing and a miss, and he strikes out the side. In between the strikeouts is a walk. So all 6 outs have been strikeouts, folks. We got the pitch and matchup we thought so far here in the first. 3 outs, 6 strikeouts apiece. 3 strikeouts apiece. Jackie Jensen's up, batting 225 with 3 homers and 9 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on ball. Jensen walks down the first. Leadoff batter aboard here for Boston. And Vern Stevens is up batting 303, 3 homers and 8 RBI. And that's going to be against the 20. That's going to be the first out that ain't a strikeout. That's going to be a fly ball in the right field for out number 1. As Mick makes the catch. And Dick Gearnet comes to the plate. Gearnet is 0 for 8 on the season. And that's going to be another fly ball out to Mick. 2 down now with a runner still at first for Bill Kerrigan. And Bill is batting 500 on the year. No homers and no RBIs. And he drives this ball into, let's see, against the lefty. It's going to be a 17. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. And Mick's got a cannon out there for an arm. Let's see here. Against, and it'll be a 49 with 2 outs. So a 29, he makes it the third. And a 29 is a 55 or lower. And he makes it the third, the first base hit of the game. We got first and third now. And 2 outs. Chairman of the board get out of this with nobody scoring here. Smokey Wood is up. Smokey Joe Wood is batting 200 on the year. No homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. A 63 and a 1. And that's going to be a wild throw. And that is going to cost them a run. The runner's going to score from second. First and second on wild throw. And the runners are going to get to second and third. So that's a 2-base error by Whitey. And we got second and third now. And 2 outs, and the Red Sox up 1-0 on an unearned run here in the top of the second. Whitey not helping himself out there, throwing that ball away. Here is Jimmy Collins up now. He struck out his first time up, and that's going to be a fly ball out to Ruth. That ends the inning, but a costly error by Whitey makes this a 1-0 ball game. We go to the bottom of the second. We got Gehrig, DiMaggio, and Yogi Do up. Trailing by 1 now. And Lou's batting .462. He's got 7 homers and 13 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. Dom DiMaggio makes the catch for out number 1. And talking about DiMaggio, the other DiMaggio in this game, Joe's up now, batting .162, 2 homers and 6 RBIs. And And that's going to be a rare play. A 62 on a 40. And that's going to be hit in front of the plate. A 62 on a 7. And that's going to be fielding column 3. And that's going to be an error on their catcher. And Joe's going to make it the whole way down the second on that E2. So now you got a runner in scoring position and 1 out for the Yankees. These teams' defense is letting them down here. The pitchers are doing a good job. Of course, the pitcher for the Yankees, Whitey Ford's the one that had the error for them. So now you got Yogi up with a runner in scoring position and only 1 out. Let's move these guys around out here in the field so we can see what's going on here. Move these infielders around a little bit, maybe even move the outfielders some. Go to Yankee Stadium here. Okay, here, the pitcher's fine. We'll move the first baseman. Move him back a little bit there. Second baseman, we'll move him over here. Shortstop over to here. Third baseman back just a little bit. Left field, we'll put him about there. Center field looks good. And we'll move right field about here. And let's see if that looks a little better now. See if that looks a little better, more pleasing. Yeah, that's a little better. Now you got Yogi up batting 136 with a homer and 5 RBIs. And that's going to be against the righty of 26. And that is going to be a pop-up down the short. Burns got it for out number 2. So it's going to be up to Red Ruff to get the run in here, batting 231 with no homers and 3 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. So Red trots on down the first. Let's see if Whitey can make up for that error and drive in the run here and tie this ball game up. Whitey is batting 250 on the year, no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a base hit. Nope, that's not going to be a base hit. That's going to be a pop-up down the third. Gets under it, and that ends the inning, folks. No, wait a second. 27. That's against the lefty. Yeah, against the lefty. That's going to be a pop-up down the third. I got it right the first time. So Whitey pops up and strands 2. We go to the top of the third. It's a 1-run game. And we got Rollins due up, followed by DiMaggio and Williams. Pete struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a base on balls. Whitey's second walk of the game. The first one came around to score on the air. And DiMaggio's up now. He reached on an error his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. And a 61 on an 8. Second baseman, a 61, fielding column 2. And out at first, they'll get the runner at second. So they'll get the runner out at second on the 4-6 put out. That brings up Ted Williams now with DiMaggio down at first and 1 out. And Ted struck out his first time up. And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes on Williams. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that's going to be a 40. And that's going to be a wow. That is not going to be a wow pitch. That is going to be a rare play, a 12 on a 40 with a runner at first. 12 and a 40. And that's going to be 25. That's going to be hit back to the pitcher. See if Whitey can come up with a nice play this time, and he does. And that's going to be a runner is trapped off first and a run down. And that's going to be a pickoff. Nice job by Whitey. Picks off DiMaggio. And now there's 2 outs, nobody on for Ted Williams. And if you're a Yankee fan, that's what you want to see. Nobody on with Williams up on a 2-0 count. And he blasted, folks. How big was that pickoff? How far is this ball going to travel? And that ball is out of here. Ted Williams turns that ball around. And that ball's in the upper deck in right field. And it's a 2-0 Boston lead. And Jackie Jensen's up now. Williams continues to have the hot bat. Jensen walked and came around the score. And that's going to be another base on balls for Jensen. And Whitey's starting to struggle here with control. That's his third walk to go with his 3 strikeouts. Vern Stevens is up. He flew out to right his first time up. And that's going to be a 2-0 count. And Whitey getting behind on these batters. Costing him. And it does, because Vern gets a hold of this 2-0 pitch. And that ball is driven into the gap in right field. And see if Mick can throw him out at the plate here with 2 outs. Because Jackie is going to try to score here. 32. It'll take a hell of a throw by Mick. A 62 or lower. And Mick throws him out at the plate. And Jensen's hopping mad, as that's a double in the right field. And Mick guns him down, trying to score, and keeps this a 2-0 ball game. See if I can fire up the Yankees here in the bottom of the 3rd. Trailing by 2 now against Smokey Wood. And we got the top of the order due up. Tony, Phil, and Babe. And Tony struck out his first time up against Wood. Not this time, folks. Tony gets a hold of it, and you don't want these leadoff batters getting on. And that ball is driven into the gap in left field out there in Death Valley. It's rolling around. Tony's headed to 3rd, and he's in there with a leadoff triple. So Tony down at 3rd, nobody out. And Phil Rizzuto's up. And Phil struck out his first time up. Can he deliver a hit here and score a run? And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. A 42 and a 9. Let's see here. I should still be fielding column 1. And it is. And that's going to be out at first. Let's see here. Runner on 3rd. Playing back out at first. The runner's going to score. So that's a 6-3 put out. But that cuts the lead in half. It's 2-1. And now you got Babe Ruth up with 1 out and nobody on. And Ruth walked his first time up. And that's going to be against a righty. That's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Ruth out. So now there's 2 outs, and here comes the Mick. And Mick is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Jensen in right. That ends the inning. But the leadoff triple comes around the score. And it's a 2-1 ball game. We go to the top of the 4th. We got the bottom part of the order due up here. Gearnett, Carnegie, and Wood. And Gearnett is 0 for 1, flew out the right. And here's the pitch to Dick, and that's a swing and a miss. Whitey strikes him out for out number 1. And here comes Bill. Bill's 1 for 1. He singled the first time up against Whitey. And that's going to be a pop up down the 2nd. And that'll be out number 2. Tony makes the catch. And here's Wood. He reached on that error that scored a run back in the second. Smokey is 0 for 1. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Lou at first. He'll take it himself, and that ends the inning. 1, 2, 3, go to Red Sox. The bottom of the fourth we go. Gehrig, DiMaggio, and Yogi do up. Lou flew out the center his first time up. And that's going to be against the lefty. That's going to be a fly ball out the center field for out number 1. 1 down here in the fourth. And up to the plate now is DiMaggio. DiMaggio reached on an error his first time up. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. Joe takes him the other way. And a 1-out hit. Tying run at first. Go ahead, run at the plate for Yogi. And Yogi is 0 for 1. He popped up the short. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. Nope, that's going to be a swing and a miss. He's going to strike Yogi out. So DiMaggio still down at first for Red. See if Red can do something. He walked his first time up. And that's going to be another swing and a miss. Smokey strikes out the last 2. The runner on first gets stranded. To the top of the 5th we go. We're back to the top of the order here for the Red Sox. Collins, Rollins, and DiMaggio. Jimmy's 0 for 2, struck out and flew out the left. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Tony at second for out number 1. And Pete's up now. See if Pete can get aboard here. He walked and struck out and is yet to put the ball in play as we lose the dice. Makes it an official game here. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Whitey strikes Pete out for the second time today. 2 down now. And DiMaggio up. And Dom is 0 for 2. Reached on an error and popped up the second. And that's going to be a 20. That's going to be a fly ball in the center field. DiMaggio gets his brother Dom out. 1, 2, 3, go the Red Sox. To the bottom of the 5th we go. We got 4 due up and then back to the top with Tony and Phil. Whitey is 0 for 1 today. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Pete for out number 1. Back to the top of the order. Tony hit that triple to lead off the 3rd and came around the score. He struck out his other time up. And that's going to be against a lefty. 8. And that's going to be a single in down the 3rd. And Tony's aboard again here, folks. Tony getting aboard here for the big boys. We're going to do a hit and run here. Try to stay out of the double play with Phil. So a little hit and run. Rizzuto's 0 for 2. He did strike out his first time, but he grounded out the short, but drove in Tony from 3rd. So a little hit and run here. 14 on a hit and run. And strike. And the runner's off trying to steal here. And that's not what we wanted. A 14. He's a 19 minus 4. So a 15. So that's going to be a 33 or lower. He's safe at second. And he's in there with a stolen base. So Tony gets down the second on the stolen base. Now you got a runner in scoring position and one out. Let's see if Phil can drive him in again. And that's going to be an 8 against a 25. And that's going to be a ground ball down the first. Let's see here. 42 and a 2. He is not a good field. That'll be fielding 3, and that will be hit down the first. Only plays over the first with Smokey covering, and Tony will get down the third. So the tying run is now 90 feet away for Babe Ruth. Can Ruth come up with an RBI here? He is 0 for 1. He's walked and struck out. And that's going to be against a righty, a lefty. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes out Ruth. Leaves the runner stranded at third. We go to the top of the 6th. It's still a 2-1 game. We got Williams, Jensen, and Stevens due up here. Ted with that solo homer his last time up, and he struck out. And that's going to be a base on balls. Williams walks on down the first. Now you got Jackie Jensen up. He was walked twice in this game. And that ball is high. How far is this ball going to go, folks? That's the question. Will it stay in the ballpark? And no, Jackie Jensen hits this one out. And it's going to be a 4-1 game, folks. A 3-run lead for the Red Sox. Jackie Jensen takes Whitey deep, doubles the phone up with pleasure. Doubles his lead. It's 4-1. And you got Vern Stevens up. He's 1 for 2. He has flown out the right and doubled. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Whitey settles down after the homer and gets the first out. And Dick's up now. He is flown out the right and struck out. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field with 1 out here in the 6th. And Bill's up now. And Bill is 1 for 2. He singled and popped up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Ruth for out number 2. And now you got Wood up. And Wood is 0 for 2. He did reach on an error and grounded out the first. And that's going to be a fly ball out to DiMaggio. That ends the inning. But the Jensen 2-run homer makes it a 3-run ball game. We go to the bottom of the 6th. We got Mano, Gehrig, and DiMaggio up. Mick is 0 for 2. He has struck out and flown out the right. And that's going to be another fly ball. This one out the left for out number 1. And Sweet Lou Gehrig's up now. And Lou is 0 for 2. He's flown out the center twice. And this is going to be a swing and a miss. Smokey strikes him out. That's 2 up and 2 down. It's up to DiMaggio to get something going. He did single his last time up. He's reached on an error. He's been on base both times. And that's going to be a double in the right field. DiMaggio down at second with 2 outs. Can the Yankees cut into this lead here? Here comes Yogi up with a runner down in scoring position. Yogi has popped up the short and struck out. And that ball is well hit. That'll score DiMaggio from second. And that ball is driven in the center field. And DiMaggio is going to score with no throw. So a single in the center and cuts the lead to 2 runs here. And now you got Yogi down at first for Red. And the tying run comes to the plate now. See if Red can keep this inning alive as Aaron Reed joins us here today. And Red is 0 for 1. He has walked and struck out. And that's going to be a Excuse me, another swing and a miss. That ends the inning, but Yogi drives in a run, makes it 4-2 as we go to the 7th inning. We got the top of the order due up here against Whitey. Collins, Rollins, and DiMaggio. Excuse me, Jimmy is 0 for 3. He struck out, flown out, and grounded out. And that's going to be a base on balls, and that's what you don't want to do after scoring a run is walk the leadoff guy. So again, that's Whitey's fifth walk to go with 6 strikeouts. Pete's up now. He's 0 for 2. He has struck out twice and walked. And that's going to be a ground ball down back to the mound. A 53 and a 1. And that's going to be thrown over to first. And the runner will get down in the scoring position now with 1 out. And that brings up DiMaggio now. And Dom's 0 for 3. He has reached on an error. He has popped up. And he has flown out the center. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. 64 on an 8. And that's going to be with 1 out, pop up down the third, a runner or hold at second. Now there's 2 outs. And I know Jensen's homered. We're going to pitch to Williams. Whitey says to hell with it. He's 1 for 2. He's walked and homered and struck out. Whitey says he wants to pitch to him. And he walks him anyway. That's a base on balls. Now there's 2 on and 2 outs for Jackie Jensen, who homered his last time up, a 2-run shot back in the 6th. He is 1 for 1. He's walked the other 2 times up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the first. And Lou will take it himself. That'll end the inning. Boston leaves 2. We make it to the 7th inning stretch. And we're going to have a pitch hitter here for Whitey to start off the 7th. As you can see, the Boston Red Sox have struck out 62 times, walked 56, hit 26 doubles and 3 triples. The Yankees have struck out 71 times, walked 56 times, 29 doubles and 9 triples. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. And I think it's going to be Combs is going to come off the bench. Try to get aboard here. The Yankees need 1 base runner to bring the tying run up to the plate. So Earl Combs is coming off the bench. The bat here against Smokey Wood. And Combs is 0 for 1 on the year. Here's the pitch to Earl. And that's going to be a base on balls. Combs does his job. He gets aboard here. And now the tying run comes to the plate in a 4-2 ball game. Combs down in first. And we might do another hit and run here. So we're going to do a hit and run here. Try to stay out of the double play. Tony is 2 for 3. He has tripled, came around the score, struck out, singled, and stolen a base. And that's going to be a 9. The runner down at first. And against the lefty, that's going to make him a 17 on a 9. And that is going to be a 28. Shortstop's a 9 and a 55. A 9 and a 55 for the shortstop. And that's fielding column 2. So, and So on a hit and run, that'll be a ground ball down the short. The runner will get in the scoring position now with 1 out. And Phil Rizzuto's up now. 1 out and a runner down in scoring position for Rizzuto. He is 0 for 3. He has struck out and grounded out twice. Did drive in a run back in the third. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field for out number 2. And here comes Babe Ruth as the tying run. Runner down at second and 2 outs for Ruth. He is 0 for 2. He's walked once and struck out twice. Can Ruth do it? And that ball is high. That ball is far. How far is it going to travel, folks, is the question. Get out of here. Babe Ruth with his 7th homer of the year and RBIs 13 and 14. Hits this one out there in right field, and it's a tie ball game, folks. And now you got Mick up with 2 outs and nobody on. Can Mick keep this inning alive and keep the merry-go-round going? Mick is 0 for 3. He has struck out and flown out to the corners. And that's going to be against the righty. That'll be a 26. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Mick out after giving up the homer. But it's a tie ball game, folks, as we go to the top of the 8th. See who's going to come out here and pitch. Righty, righty. Righty's due up. In a tie ball game, I think old Hoyt's going to come out of the bullpen here. Yeah. Hoyt's going to come out of the bullpen. Try to keep this a tie ball game. And this is Hoyt's 4th appearance. He's 0-1 with a 13.5 ERA. He'll be facing Stevens, Gearnett, and Kerrigan. Burns 1 for 3 with a double. He's flown out and struck out. And that's going to be against the righty, 16. And that's going to be a base hit. It's going to be an infield hit. Burns aboard here. Tying run down at first with nobody out. And that brings up Dick now. And Dick is 1 for 3. He singled, flown out the right, and struck out. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. And they'll get the lead runner. But let's see here. Make sure he doesn't S batter. Nope, he's not an S batter. He makes it down the first. Beats the throw. So that'll be a 4-6 put out. 1 down now. And Bill's up now with 1 out and a runner still at first. And Bill's 1 for 3. He singled, popped up the second, and flown out to the left. And that's going to be another fly ball out the left. And that'll be 2 down now. There we'll have to have a pitch hitter here for Smokey Wood. See who's going to come off the bench here against Hoyt. And it looks like it's going to be Buck Freeman coming off the bench with 2 outs and a runner down at first. Where's Buck at? There he is. And Buck is batting 129 on the year. No homers and 1 RBI. And that's going to be a ground ball out in front of the... Nope, that's going to be a hit by pitch. So he hits Buck Freeman, not what you want to do. He's going to put the runner in the scoring position. Not what you want to see here. Definitely not done on purpose in a tie ball game. And now we're back to the top of the order in college. So first and second and 2 outs here. Boy, trying to keep this a tied ball game. Jimmy is 0 for 3. He struck out, flown out, grounded out, and walked. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Mick. That'll end the inning. And the Red Sox strand two. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 4-4 tie. Got the lefty, a righty, and a lefty coming up. And the Red Sox bullpen ain't much to talk about, and they have no lefty out there. Kreider is their only decent pitcher. So let's see who's going to come in here. Might be sad Sam Jones. Let's see here. Let's see who hasn't pitched in a while here. And it's going to be Frank Sullivan coming out of the bullpen. Keep this a tie ball game. Old Sullivan says it's a really, really big show today. This is his 3rd appearance. He has no record with a 12.27 ERA. He's got Gehrig, the other DiMaggio Joe in this game, and Yogi due up. Lou is 0 for 3. He's flown out to center twice and struck out. And that's going to be a base on balls. When it would go ahead runs down at first. And here comes DiMaggio, Joe DiMaggio. He is 2 for 3 today, having a heck of a game. He's been on base all 3 times. Reached on an error in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, doubled in the 6th, and came around the score on the RBI single by Yogi. Here's the pitch to DiMaggio. And that's going to be against the righty, a 15. And that's going to be a single in the right field. And Lou's going to stop at second. He's not going to try to force anything with nobody out. So all of a sudden, the Yankees making some noise here against Sullivan. Old Frank not able to get the first 2 batters out, and that brings up Yogi. Like we say, Yogi's singled in the 6th and drove into Maggio from second. Can he do it here and drive in Lou from second? So here's the pitch to Yogi. And that's going to be a 38. I see a PB0 and a 55 and a 7. And a 55 and a 7. And that's going to be fielding column 3. And he's not a PBO, he's a 2. That's going to be a pass ball, folks. That's going to get the runners down the 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. Force the Red Sox to bring the infield in. And now the 1-0 pitch to Yogi. Can Yogi deliver here and maybe give the Yankees a 2-run lead? And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. 46 and a 9. What's a 46 against a 9? That's probably still fielding column 1. And it is. With the infield in, that's going to be a single. And with the infield in, the runners hold. But that's an infield hit down the short. Yogi's aboard here, folks. And we got bases loaded for Red. Nobody out. Everywhere you look, there's a Yankee. Okay, that didn't work. We wanted the runners to hold. Let's go back here. So we got a infield hit down the short. Runner on third's going to hold. Runner on second's going to hold. And Red's up. Can Red deliver a big hit here? Base is full of Yankees. Lewis, third. Joe DiMaggio at second. Yogi, everybody's favorite Yogi at first. And Red at the plate. Red's 0 for 2. He's walked and struck out twice. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. And let's see here. That'll be a 45. Williams does not have a very strong arm. That's an 11, a 29 or lower. 29 or lower. He's going to tag up. That's a 55. Let's see here. A 21, 30, 42. Wait a second here. That was a 47. Sorry, a 47. I did that wrong, I believe. A 47 minus a 27 plus an 11. It's a 31. 31, he scores. 31. They got to throw home. And DiMaggio's tagging up. He'll make it down to third on the throw. And Yogi's going to tag up and go to second on the throw, a 31 or lower. So let's see what that is. I think that's a 50 something. A 61 or lower. Lou scores, and we got a 5-4 game, folks. And a 61, he's in there safely. And Bill is jumping mad. He says he's out, but we got a sacrifice fly. Exactly a 61. Lou barely gets his finger underneath the tag, and everybody moves up. Everybody moves up. We got second and third, 2-1 out now, and it's a 5-4 ball game as the Yankees take the lead on the sacrifice fly. And we'll have a pitch hitter here for Schoolboy Hoyt. Let's see, and you know who's coming off the bench. We're bringing out Roger Maris is coming off the bench here. Here comes Roger to face. Are they going to let Frank pitch? That's the question. They don't have a lefty. Forgot they don't have a lefty, or Frank wouldn't even be in the game. So Frank's going to pitch to Roger here. Again, they're going to have to keep the infield in. See if Roger can bust this game open for the Yankees. Roger is batting 200 on the year, no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. Might be a smart move to walk Roger. Puts the force play at any base. Sets up the double play, Paul. But Tony's been hitting the hell out of ball. Tony is 2 for 4. He's got a triple. And this game came around to score. He singled and stolen the base. Struck out in the first and grounded out the short in the 6th. So we got bases full of Yankees again. This time there's 1 out. And Tony at the plate. DiMaggio at third. Yogi at second. And Roger at first. And again, the Red Sox are going to have to bring the infield in. Here's the pitch to Tony. And that's going to be against the righty. That'll be a 19. And that's going to be a single in the center field. And that's going to bust this game open. DiMaggio scores. And I think Yogi's going to score with no throw. There's 1 out in the 56. Dom does have a hell of an arm out there. So a 31 again. And see what Roger is to get down there. 49. So they're going to throw home again a 61 or lower. And Roger will get down to third on the throw. So a 61 or lower, Yogi's going to score and make this a 3-run ball game. And he's in there. So that's a 2 RBI single for Tony. And we got first and third, folks. Runner on second, runner on first. And it's first and third. Yankees busting this game open in the 8th. And that's going to be it for Sullivan, as he wasn't a big show for the Red Sox. He gets 1 out, and he can't get out of this 8th inning. See who's going to come out of the bullpen now. And it's going to be sad Sam Jones comes out of the pen. How sad is Sam? He's so sad. So Jones comes out of the bullpen. And it's a 7-4 ball game. The Yankees doing the damage here in the 8th. Now you got first and third, and they're just looking to get out of this inning. They're going to play back now. Fields having a rough game. He's 0 for 4. He struck out and grounded out. The short first flew out the left. Here's the pitch to Phil, and that's going to be a ground ball down the short with the infield back. 35 and a 9 is going to be fielding column 1. So, and with the infield back, that is going to be the 6-4-3 double play. That gets them out of the inning, but the Yankees score 3. We go to the top of the 9th. It's a 7-4 ball game, folks. And Joe Page is going to come out of the bullpen, try to lock this game down for the Yankees. Got the lefties coming up. You got Rollins, then DiMaggio, and then Williams. You don't want nobody on base when Ted gets up, that's for sure. That is the key to this game. A 3-run lead here. And out of the bullpen comes Page. Page calling Joe Page. So Page comes in the game. This is his 4th appearance. He's 0-1 with 2 saves, a 5.4 ERA. Like I say, he's got the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up. Rollins, Dom DiMaggio, and Williams. Pete's 0 for 3. He has struck out twice, walked and grounded out to the pitcher. And that's going to be a ground ball down the red. He fires over to Lou for out number 1. And here comes Dom DiMaggio. And the other DiMaggio's 0 for 4. He did reach on an error, grounded into a force play, flown out to center and popped up to third. And that's another ground ball down the red. And that's another out. So you got what you want. You got Ted Williams up with nobody on in a 3-run ball game. Williams is hitting the cover off the ball, folks. He's still batting .486. He's 1 for 2 today with 2 walks. And that one hit was a solo homer back in the 3rd. That gave the Red Sox at the time a 2-0 lead. Here's the pitch to Williams. And that's going to be against the lefty. 23 on a 8. And that's going to end this game. That ball is high. That ball is far, but not far enough as old Joe waits for it to come down out there in Death Valley, short of the track. And that ends the ball game. The Yankees win 7-4 and break the losing streak. They was on a 2-game losing streak. Let's take a look here at the box score. Nice game here. Come from behind win. It was a really, really bad show for Frank Sullivan. Oh, Tony had a hell of a game, didn't he? The Yankees, 7 runs on 9 hits and 2 errors. The errors were costly for the Yankees early in the game. Whitey with that big error. The Red Sox were 4 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. And the only Red Sox with a multiple hit game was Vern Stevens, 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Ted Williams and Jackie Jensen both went deep. Jackie with a 2-run shot, Williams with a solo shot. The Red Sox left 9 men on base. Tony had a great game. You can't let these guys get on base in front of these big boys. Tony was 3 for 5, and then you had DiMaggio and Yogi 3 for 4, and Yogi 2 for 4. DiMaggio came around to score twice. Yankees were 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Babe Ruth with the big homer tied this ball game up back there in what inning was that? Was that the seventh? Yep, back in the seventh inning. Ruth with that 2-run homer. And the Yankees left 7 men on base. Wood gets a no decision, pitches 7 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, walked 3, struck out 10, and gave up a homer. And Frank Sullivan comes in and doesn't get the job done. Goes to 0-1, a third of an inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, walked 2. And Jones comes in, 2/3 of an inning, shuts them down, but too little, too late. Whitey goes 7 innings, gets a no decision, gives up 5 hits, 4 runs, only 3 of them earned. Walked 6, struck out 6, and gave up the 2 homers to Williams and Jensen. Hoyt comes in, gets the win. He's 1-1, 1 inning, 1 hit, and Page comes in and does his job, gets his 3rd save of the year, and 1 inning of baseball. Let's take a look now at the standings and the leaderboard. And now you got the Tigers and Indians a half a game up on the Yankees. The White Sox are now a game and a half back. Senators and Red Sox are 2 games back. Orioles are 2.5, and the A's are 3.5 games back. Ted Williams is leading the American League with a .474 batting average, folks. Now you got Gehrig, Ruth, and Williams all tied with 7 homers. And Ted Williams with 17 RBIs on the year, leading the American League. Like I said, Teddy Baseball is hitting the cover off the ball. And Bob Shalkey, he's going to be pitching in game number 2 of this doubleheader with a 0.6 ERA, leading the American League. Ed Walsh with 3 wins. Now you got 1, 2, 3 pitchers tied with 3 saves in the American League. And Ted Williams is now leading in the MVP voting. And Ed Walsh is leading in the Best Pitcher Award. I want to thank Aaron Reed for stopping by here today. And like I say, the next ball game is going to be the second game of this doubleheader on the channel between the Red Sox and Yankees. Let's see what the pitching matchup's going to be. I think it's going to be Dutch Leonard. Yep, Dutch Leonard against Bob Shalkey. Another great pitching matchup. Like I say, Shalkey right now with the ERA lead in the American League going up against the Dutchman, Dutch Leonard. So tune in for that. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for reminders. Hit that like button and leave a comment. Until next time, y'all have a great day and take care.